Atlas here, coming at you with another One Piece video, and in today's One Piece video, I'm going to be showcasing to you guys my first place Rob Lucci deck profile. Now, I managed to come first place at Locals with Rob Lucci, and also second place the week before at another Locals, and honestly, I'm really liking this deck. This deck is a lot of fun. I think it's got a lot of basically different versatility when it comes into like leaders, because yes, there are leaders in the game that have the ability to restand, like Kuro and Kid, but I think this one stands differently because this one doesn't have to use Don to restand. What you've got to do to restand the character is literally just kill a character. And for black, that's not really hard. Like, you can do it in a ton of different ways. You can do it by killing an opponent's character with an attack. You can do it by using like a meteor to go ahead and kill it. You can use it a Kobe or a Sakazuki to kill it. So you can go ahead and then trash 2 and then just restand and swing again for like massive damage. Like, you can do double 10k swing with Rob Lucci, unlike Kid and Kuro, which can only realistically do a 13k swing. So I really like the idea of Rob Lucci as a deck, and seeing as this deck has gone up against a lot of different decks in the last 2 weeks, off the top of my head, it went against 6 matches in total. I lost one at one of the Locals, which made me come second, and that was against a Zoro player, and the only reason I lost that was because he got a 2k counter in the life. But I've played against Zoro, Kuro, 2 Katakuris, a Whitebeard, and also a Trafalgar Law player, and I feel like this deck has a pretty decent matchup against a lot of those, outside of maybe like the Law deck, like, and the Katakuri deck, where it's just like, oh, these decks are strong, but you know, it's hard to kill the bigger characters in Katakuri, and then Law's just got a ton of blockers that's just really hard to get around. So yeah, I really like this deck. I think the deck is really, really cool, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the deck profile. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, starting off, we are playing the General Searcher of the deck as the beginning. We're playing 4 brand new. I am playing a Navy build, just to be exact. Like, this is Navy Rob Lucci, and honestly, I think Navy is the correct way to play it. So we're playing 4 brand new, because what brand new does is, on play, you can go ahead and look at the top 3 cards, add 1 Navy card to your hand, and then put the rest in the trash. So essentially, he's a free search at the top of your deck. You're playing a ton of Navy cards, so you're pretty much never going to whiff. He's a 3k power character as well, so you can go ahead and swing with him with 2 Don, and we do that actually a lot with this card, because it's like he just sits there half the time, so we just go ahead and put 2 Don in it, swing, waste a card in your opponent's hand. Like, it happens a lot. And he's just generally really good because he's the searcher of the deck. Like, you want to play searches, you want to have the ability to search to get to your cards quicker, and you get rid of cards that you don't really need at the same time as well. Next, another kind of consistency card slash just a really strong card in general, we play 4 Kuzan. Kuzan is absolutely insane. On play, draw a card, and then on attack, decrease a character by 4 cost. Like, that is absolutely insane, just because it makes it a lot easier to kill stuff like 8-drop Katakuri, 10-drop Big Mom. Like, it makes it really easier for us to kill stuff with the Sakazuki that can kill literally 5 or less characters. So we want to be playing this because it just makes life a lot easier and lets us kill things with like Kobe and Sakazuki just so much easier. Like, literally being a 5k swing that can go ahead and decrease things by 4 cost, it's just absolutely insane. And when you pair it with like a Garp, like, damn, it's just insane, right? But yeah, next we are playing the KO cards. So these are the cards that we actually use to kill opponents' characters. We're using 2 Kobe. Reason behind 2 Kobe is pretty much, Kobe is a good card, don't get me wrong. Killing a 3 cost or less is great, but we're not playing Smoker, so you don't want to be running 4 of this, just for the fact that a lot of characters in the game are above that, like, 3 cost area. Like, 4 cost is like the minimum majority of the time unless you're against a Law player or a Zoro player. So if you're against a Whitebeard player, or you're up against like, well, another Rob Lucci player for instance, or a Katakuri player, the number that you're going to be seeing a lot isn't going to be 3, it's going to be 4. So because we can't decrease stuff very easily unless we've got like the Kuzan, we're only playing 2 Kobe for that reason. So we played 2 Kobe. I like 2 Kobe. It's actually fine to be at 2. And yeah, like, if we had another way to decrease things very easily, I'd probably play 4 of it, but I've been liking it at 2, so we play 2 of it. Next, we play 2 Kaku. Pretty much, I'm playing a technically small CP package in the deck. I'm playing 10 CP cards, being 4 Khalifa, 4 Fukuro, and then 2 of this. And because of that, I felt like it was necessary to at least play this, because obviously we're already playing the 4 Khalifa and also the 4 Fukuro, that it made necessary to at least play the 2 Kaku. Because essentially what Kaku does is it can place 2 CP cards from your trash on the bottom of your deck to KO a 3 or less. So yes, technically this could be replaced with the Kobes, but what I like about this more than the Kobe and is because, one, yes, it has the ability to do it for free, which is very, very nice. Like, you've got the Khalifa and you've got a Fukuro engrave, you're going to kill a 3 cost or less, that's great. But what is also really nice about this card is that it's good going set first, because you don't want to be going first. So if you're going first, you got that 5 cost on it, so you can go ahead and play it on your turn 3. And also, it's a 6k beat stick. Like, 6k beat sticks are very, very strong, and this being a 1k counter, potential to go ahead and kill an opponent's character, and also being a 6k all rolled into one, absolutely insane. And a lot of the time, if you do see this in the early game, you don't have a Khalifa or a Fukuro, you will just discard it, and if you see the second one, you see the second one. But it's still pretty decent, just being a 1k counter that can go ahead and kill things. Like, that will always be decent in my mind. And then the last cards that we're playing that actually KO characters as characters is 4 Sakazuki. This is literally doesn't need explanation. The card is absolutely insane. Like, 6 costs, 7k, trash 1 card, kill a 5k or less. Like, that's just absolutely insane. Like, just being able to drop this card is really strong. It lets you kill, like, blocker laws. It lets you kill 4 cost characters that are in the way. It lets you just kill so many different things in the game that you really have to be playing 4 of this card. I want to see this card in my hand every single time. Being a 7k that can just murder anything in the game, and it being a 6 cost, so it's on your curve as well. Brilliant. I love this card to bits, and I would never play less than that. So yeah, 4 of that. Going on to blockers though, we're playing 4 Fukuro. It's an unkillable blocker, so it's just really, really good. Like, you can go ahead and block it with it at all times. Your opponent can't KO it with effects such as like Fire Fist or Jet Pistol or like any of these KO cards, so it's just really, really decent. And it's a 1k counter as well on top of that, but main reason we play it is because it's just generally unkillable blockers are just going to be really strong, because it means they'll always be able to tank the hits. Can't be killed by Marco either, which is just really nice. Like, it's just a good card. Next we're playing 4 Borsalino. I don't have to explain this too much because it's basically the same as Fukuro. This card is essentially an unkillable blocker, but it's even better than Fukuro just for the fact that it's a 4 cost 6k blocker, because during your opponent's turn it can't be KO'd by effects, and it gains 1k plus power. So this card is just absolutely insane at 4. You have to play 4 of this card. Like, its unkillable blockers are insane. And then the last blockers we play, which puts us to the number of 10, is we're playing 2 Hina. Hina is essentially a nice blocker in my mind, where it's just like, yeah, this card is just really decent overall, because what this card is, it's a blocker with 1k counter, 6k, so it's already really good because of any 6k blocker is gonna be good, just because it means that if your opponent's swinging for 5, you get a free protection, right? But the really good thing about this is, on block, you can go ahead and select a 6 cost or less character and say that that character cannot attack this turn. So essentially, Hina right here, she's a double blocker. She says, I'm going to block 2 cards, 1 can't attack, and then the other one doesn't hit. Like, she's just really good because of that, so we're playing 2 of her. No reason not to play her. I could justifiably put her up to 3 as well, but right now I think I'm fine with 2. Finding ratios right now is the hard part when it comes to this deck, where it's like everything is just so finely tuned, I don't really want to change anything. So I'm very happy with how it is at the moment. But next, and actually the only card that I would actually change to 3 right now, is 2 Isho. Let me make this clear, guys. Isho is insane. This card paired with stuff like the 9-drop Shanks, or just in general like any kill card in the game, and also your opponent having like 6 or more cards in hand, busted. Being able to drop this card, and if your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand, and just trash 2 of them, busted. Being able to put 1 Don on this card and decrease all of your opponent's characters by 3 cost, absolutely insane. Now, I'm not playing the 9 cost Shanks just because 1, I don't own them, 2, I feel like it would have changed the ratios too much, so I wasn't trying them yet. But honestly, this card is just nuts for so many reasons. 8 cost, so it's on curb, 9k swing, so your opponent has to waste at least 5k counter in hand to stop it, and having the ability to just decrease cost and trash cards in your opponent's hand, getting rid of stuff like Big Mums, 2k counters, blocker laws, like just anything in the game that your opponent could have in the hand if they're on 6. It's absolutely insane, and honestly, I want to put this to free. Just right now, thinking of what I would actually cut to keep the ratios the way I want it is actually the hard part. So this card is absolutely insane. It's good at 2, but I want to play it at free. I feel like it's a free of this deck. And then that's pretty much all the actual characters in the deck. The rest are just like 2k counters. So we're playing like the 4 Suru, 4 Garp, 4 Tashigi, and then 4 Khalifa. Like, obviously we play the Khalifas for the 2 Kakus, so we can go ahead and get rid of stuff. She's also really good just because she can fix hands at times. We have 4k power, so we just have to put 1 Don in swing, and also just have the ability to just go ahead and decrease characters by 2 cost is really nice. Like, that's why we play these specific 12 2ks, because they all say decrease by 2 cost, which is really good. Like, just being able to play either Suru, Tashigi, or this to go ahead and decrease an opponent's character by 2 cost, that can be really useful at times, especially when we got the Kuzan and we need to swing into it to decrease something by 4, and then we need to get that little extra decrease just so we can guarantee that we can get over the opponent's cards. And then the Garp is like the worst one here, where we play him mainly just because he's a 2k, but you can also utilize him with Kuzan, where if you do have Kuzan on the board and you have him on the board, slap 2 Don on him, KO any 4 cost character in the game. So he's not the best character to have in the deck, but he's a general 2k character. Like, this is just 2ks, they're mainly there just to go ahead and deal with like maybe decrease some characters, but just, you know, 2k counter, keep our life. That's their main purpose. We play 16 of those because you can just play a ton of them in black. Like, you've got so many resources in this deck. And then the last cards, which are events, is we're playing 4 Shockwave. Shockwave is just a busted card overall. 2 cost counter card that says you can counter by 4k power and also kill an active 3k or less character. Like, I cannot tell you how many buggies, Perosperos, blockers that this card alone has just killed, because it's just insane. And every time we get it on trigger as well, just kill a 4k or less character. Not active, not rested, just kill a 4k or less character. Like, Shockwave, or as I call it, Buddha Wave, is just... This card is absolutely busted, and I'm not changing this from any number lower than 4. I think the card is just absolutely insane. And then the last cards that we actually play in the deck, because it's Lucci, is 2 Meteor Volcano. Essentially, why we play Meteor Volcano is the fact that this card says you can KO a 1k or less character. Well, a 1 cost or less character. And the reason why that is good is because it means that you can just slap 8 Don onto your Rob Lucci and guarantee a 13k swing twice. If you have 3 cards in your hand, one of them being this, you're going to go ahead and KO an opponent's character. Well, sorry, you're going to swing with this for 13 interface. You're going to go ahead and use Meteor, KO a 1 cost, and then just restand this, and then just swing again for 13. Like, that is the main purpose of this card. It also has a decent trigger, so you can draw 2 and discard 1. And, like, this is just really good, though, just because it KOs a character. Like, I have been debating playing the new Luffy Black Trick event, because it goes ahead and kills a 2 cost, but that essentially makes the deck like a kid deck at that point, where it's just like, you're gonna have to discard 2 cards, use free Don, kill a character, right, just to go ahead and get around it. But the plus side of that is that you do get to kill a 2 cost character, whereas a lot of decks are playing more 2 costs nowadays instead of 1 cost. So yeah, there are small things that I've been like debating while playing Rob Lucci and like changing it. Like, for instance, could be the Luffy card, but right now, this is just great. Like, there's so many 1 costs in the game, like Zoro Law. Like, this is just a free 13k swing, like, pretty much. So it's just really nice. It's a game-ending card. You don't really want it any other time but when you're going to go ahead and kill your opponent. So yeah, we played 2 of this. And yeah, that's the list, guys. And as some of you might have not noticed, I am not playing the 10-drop Kuzan. I think that card is just not the greatest. I don't like the card at all. I think the card is okay being able to decrease things by 5 cost, but Isho does basically the same thing, just 2 costs less, and we can go ahead and kill anything with Sakazukis at that point, or or by like pretty much those or Kobe's. Like generally I feel like we've got enough removal that it's just like and enough decrease that we don't need them, and on play it does kill something, but I think 10 cost is just too much for that. I'd rather play an Isho, have that 2 Don left to go ahead and Shockwave, than just play a 10 drop Kuzan, if you get what I mean. But yeah, that is the list though, guys. Tell me what your thoughts are on this list, honestly, because like I've taken this to 2 locals, I came 1st and 2nd respectively. This is the list that I just came up with because I was like, hey, I want to play Rob Lucci. I'm swapping decks around right now just because obviously it's coming towards the end of OP03.5 and I wanted to just try some new things, some different decks that I didn't try in OP03 much, and I feel like Rob Lucci is just one of those decks that's really, really fun, and the Navy version is just really, really good. I'd rather play Rob Lucci Navy in comparison to CP because I don't like the CP build. I feel like it doesn't work as well as the Navy build because the Navy cards are just insane, whereas the CP cards are just kind of like mid. It's why I only play 10 of them, because the 2K counter is nice, the Fukuro is nice, and the Kaku can come up, but the rest of them is just like meh, yeah, they're all right. But yeah, guys, that is all I actually have to say for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on my Rob Lucci list in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Absolute Duelist signing out. Later.